do you doubt your experience, or do you doubt that you exist?
I make the assumption to play along, so to say.
Why are you talking to yourself?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can.
What?
Or ask yourself a question, then yourself will answer.
No, I want to ask you a question.
No, but I'm not real. It seems to me that you're hedging everything unnecessarily. You're hedging everything. So, do you doubt your experience, or do you doubt that you exist?
I make the from my existence, I experience, I exist. About the doubt if like outside world is real, I make the assumption to play along, so to say.
So I could be a figment of your imagination, right?
Yes, for example, but I make the assumption that you're real because.
Why are you making this assumption?
That's why.
Why are you talking to yourself, James?
Huh?
Why are you talking to yourself? Because there's a possibility you're saying that I could not be real.
Yeah.
And you could be talking to a figment of your imagination.
I'm also a figment of your imagination.
Yes, and I decide.
And so is Abbas.
And I decide to play along.
Yeah, so why are you playing with yourself, James?
It's just my whim. I play along.
And this is the problem. See, this is the problem. What I was trying to illustrate is that the path that you're leading yourself down in terms of your thinking only leads to this absurdity of a position where you end up talking.
Do I need to care about?
Just give me 1 second. Where you end up in a position where you don't even know if anything around you is real or not, whether people you're interacting with, whether you're not, they're real, and you could really be just talking to yourself, playing with yourself, figments of your imagination. So I think that I would suggest is that before you can talk to me, work out if I actually exist, and we can go from there.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can.
Or
ask yourself a question, then yourself will answer.
No, I want to ask you a question.
No, but I'm not real, James.
I can play. I play along that you're real.
No, don't play with yourself.
Yes,
I'm not real, James. I want to help you, and like there's a cartoon called Ratatouille, and in Ratatouille there's a rat that learns how to cook from a figment of an imagination of a cook. So what you seem to be doing. You're playing.
Hold up. Yeah. Please don't spoil Ratatouille for me.
Oh, sorry, I won't. Anyone who hasn't seen it, anyone who exists who hasn't seen it, then please. But this is so you can ask yourself a question, and maybe a part of yourself will answer, and we'll see what was the question.
The question is, why can't I just play along?
Sorry,
why do I have to? Because I acknowledge it's absurd, and then I can I don't care if it's absurd. I play along.
This is fine. So this is it. So
if the problem there?
I will tell you what the problem is.
From my perspective.
I will tell you. I'll tell you. You will tell yourself what the problem is with your way of thinking, because I'm a figment of your imagination. The problem is if you take everything as a game, as play, as I'm just messing about, then actually you're not heading towards any specific answer or resolution to any problem, because you're just playing, and the enjoyment is in the game. The enjoyment is in the play, and it's actually not purposeful, meaningful to arrive at knowledge that you can be certain about.
Do I need to care if it's like very meaningful?
Because
I have certain experiences.
And how do you know you have experiences?
Because I think I exist.
Why do you think you exist?
Why do you exist? Why do you think you exist?
We're asking you.
I don't think I exist. I don't think I exist.
I know I exist.
I'm asking you, why do you think you exist?
I think I am.
Why do you think you
are? It's my experience.
What is the I what is the I? 1 second, because in the I think therefore I am, there is an assumption which is not provable. And that assumption is I.
Yes, and those are axioms like any mathematical axiom.
No, it's not an axiom. No, you can't. 1 second, James, 1 second. You can't claim axioms now, because you can't.
Those are hard facts.
You can't claim hard facts and axioms. You can't do this, because you don't even know if reality is real. So I'm asking you. You say you think therefore. 1 second. I'm just trying to ask the question.
Okay.
You say you think therefore you are. Why is there a you? Where did the I come from?
I.
Where did it come from? How did you arrive at this conclusion? I.
Because I experience myself.
How do you know it's? How do you know there's an I to experience?
I experience my experience.
No, you're assuming.
What?
This is an assumption.
If you
experience the experience, you're having meta experiences simultaneously.
I
actually, Gems, I actually have proof now that you don't exist. Let me just put the proof up on the screen for you.
Oh,
I think that's definitive.
Wait, hold on. Can the audience just answer the question? Am I on the stream?
Sorry, is somebody speaking with us? I can't hear anyone.
Hello.
Gems, was there a? I thought there was a fourth person here.
Yeah, I see. I make the assumption you're playing with me, so.
But there's nothing wrong with play, right?
James, let me ask you a question. Have you studied anything in your life?
I have studied high school.
Okay, and do you eat every day?
I just ate recently.
Right, and do you drink water when you're thirsty, or drink something when you're thirsty?
That's a really good microphone you have there to.
Do you do that, James?
Yes.
Oh, James, let's not be crass.
Come on, James, you're being silly now. So when you cross the road, you look for the traffic, and then you cross the road. You avoid the cars that are coming towards you.
Yes.
So basically, everything you do in your life, you have the underlying assumption that you exist, these things exist, and you live your life as if these things are real, right?
Yes.
So why is it when it comes to the question of necessary existence and God and these things that people like yourself suddenly become these ultra skeptics, where even reality sort of goes out of the window, when in fact you lead your lives as if the reality is that you do exist, that the world exists, that everything exists? I just think you're just sort of fooling yourself, really. But you basically want to have this sort of...
Sorry, Abbas, and that was the point of saying to you the things that I was saying to you, is to illustrate that this perspective, this is actually a Western philosophical position, that nothing can be known and everything has to be proved from some sort of thinking process, even the existence of the self and rationality, etc. And this is completely baseless way of thinking. It doesn't make any sense. And so what happens with young people, people who are maybe trying to think about things that are bigger things, they end up questioning themselves to the point of non-existence.
Yes.
And then to make it worse, and that's one thing, but to make it worse, to say that what does it matter, I'm just playing and messing about, then it shows us actually that you're not serious in what you are talking about and what you want to do, and you don't actually want to move forward as well. So the whole point here is that what you need to do is to really understand that you are real, that everything around you that you perceive exists. The fact that you are a rational being that can use your mind to come to conclusions is not explainable with a naturalistic worldview. You believe in a necessary being. Whether or not you can prove that whether this being is a billion times more powerful than everything that we know, or a gazillion times more, is irrelevant. Why? Because that being brought everything into reality. So the amount of energy that being is in possession of, or has the ability to manipulate, is stupendously mind-boggling anyway. So
can I make a point after? Can I make a point after you? Okay.
Yes, you can. Yes, so you already accept these things, and then you look around the world that you see. So you have a being that brings about everything that we see around us.
Mm-hmm.
However much energy that requires is something that's stupendously mind-boggling. We see the intricacies of the universe around us. We see that we are in a Goldilocks zone in terms of where we are in the universe to allow life to exist. We see that we have the ability to control our thoughts, which is not explainable with a naturalistic worldview, because a naturalistic worldview requires there to be only determinism. and so even your thoughts would be determined. You wouldn't be able to rationalize anything else. We see around us value, we see around us meaning. None of those things are obtainable from a naturalistic worldview and an atheistic worldview. So all of these things point really to the fact that there is a necessary being and there is purpose here that we see. And then Brother Abbas's point initially that he made was, throughout human beings' history, separated by culture, separated by time, separated by language, there are people who have come forward and said that God has communicated with them, and this is what God has said. And what's required from you is to actually just analyze and look into this information.